Praise the Lord, KingdomGate. I'd like to just jump right into the scripture. And my text scripture tonight is going to be Isaiah 26, verses 3 and 4. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. We learned a lot about peace on Sunday. Something that God gives us. It's a gift. It's going to help us through these times. And I feel like it's a peace will stay with us even when it's hard. We're going to be able to identify it. But I'd like to go with verse number 4 is where the Lord really impressed me. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. When Pastor gave me this appointment, I've driven around and prayed and thought and prayed and asked and prayed and thought and prayed. And I'm like, I've got nothing this time, God. I've got nothing. And then it came up to what we're going through as a family. And I'm like, I really got nothing. But I was learning something to my KCM administrator. And Debbie, since you're our former administrator, in my studies, I really am learning things. So when I was studying for KCM, I was reading a passage in one of my books, and it said basically, when you get an assignment to preach, don't ask, what should I be preaching? Who am I preaching to? And that struck me. It's like I was thinking of all this exhaustion of what I needed to come up with, and the simple thing is, who am I speaking to tonight? And the Lord told me, there's something we all have in common right now, all of us. Besides Reset the Net, that's always going to be in common. But we have something deeply in common right now, and I'm talking to you. Some of this we've known, some of it might be new, some of it we may need a refresher on either tonight or in the future, and I'm just going to share with you what he gave me. So as I said, we've covered peace, and peace is going to be essential in this time. And for the most part, we're receiving it when we need it. It's there. It's our gift. But we're going to need strength for this. What we're on the precipice of tomorrow night going forward in these next couple of days, in the weeks to come, we're going to need strength, and we're going to need it in times we don't even really realize we need it. Our levels and needs are going to change at any given time of day. If we find a water bottle in the sanctuary with Mother Morgan's name on it, something that simple, we're going to need some strength. When you want to pick up your phone and call her because you got a problem, or you want to share something exciting and you can't, you're going to need strength. It's going to hit out of nowhere. That's just the way it is. We are human. It's going to hit that way. Some, for obvious reasons, are going to need more measures than others. That's to be expected. The point is, the strength he's providing is not one and done. He's not going to say, okay, here's your stack of strength, here's your stack of strength. Figure out how to make it all stretch. It's going to come when we need it, as we need it. So I'm going to just talk about strength tonight. Who is he a strength to? Scripture tells us in Psalms 28:8, for the Lord is their strength. He is the saving strength of his anointed. We're his anointed. All of us are his anointed, not just the ministers. We're all his anointed, and he is our saving strength. It's to us. Isaiah 25:4. For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. These are promises who he's a strength to. It's here. It's for us. We don't have to wonder, is it for me? Yes, it's for you. Every one of us. Every one of us. God and our strength has to be synonymous. He has to be our strength. There is no true strength apart from God. I've heard it on Sunday and all through life. I don't know how the world does it without God. I mean, the strength that's needed. This isn't in my notes, but I spoke with a coworker today. I don't know how many have seen the news about the fire in Iraq, the wedding hall that burnt down. He had family there, lots of family, lots of friends. He came from there. It's said to be a Christian village in the news. I don't know how many have a relationship, but they need strength right now. I don't know how they would do it right now without him. I just don't know. I don't understand. I have personally seen someone's strength physically fail in loss and collapse to the ground. Our strength, it's completely through us from the core out. And loss of strength is the same way. 2 Corinthians 12, 9 and 10. I think I gave you the wrong reference. I'll just read it to you. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecution, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, he is strong. Our weakness elicits his strength, in which turn gives us his power. We're not going to know his power until we've been weak to receive his strength. It's kind of just this thing. We have to understand weakness to understand his strength to receive the power. We're not going to get that kind of power just randomly. And I would almost guarantee tonight, if Pastor Morgan knew that our time of weakness would eventually elicit strength and power in us, she'd be shouting more than she already is right at this moment. Because she loved every one of us, and she prayed for that very thing for every one of us. There's some promises regarding his strength. In Isaiah 40:31 tells us, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up as wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Waiting. We're not good at waiting. Everybody who's good at waiting, raise your hand. Okay, that's what I thought. We want the pain to heal right now. We want Jesus to come back right now so we don't have to feel the pain we're feeling now. There's a lot we want right now. But his promise tells us if we wait, he's going to renew our strength for us. It's going to be. It's kind of an if you do this, I'm going to do this. It's one of those ones in the Bible. We know there's lots of them. Look at all the benefits we're going to reap. We're going to run. We're not going to get weary. We're going to walk. We're not faint. We're going to mount up with wings of eagles. And all we have to do to get all that is wait. It's kind of an easy no-brainer trade-off, really, you know. Isaiah 41:10 tells us, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will uphold thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Don't be afraid. Don't be dismayed. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He said he's going to do it. Like we all know, God's God or he's not. Well, he's God, so he's going to do it. He promised he would. Ephesians 3:16. That he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened by his might, by his Spirit in the inner man. The promises of strength are just throughout his word. It's not just a few, and it's, as I said, it's not one and done. You don't get just a certain amount you got to figure out how to use. It's there. Wait on him. Trust him. He's not going to drop you. Psalms 84:5 tells us, blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them. When we have his strength, we're blessed. Of course, strength is a blessing, but just having his strength brings blessings. How are we going to get these blessings if we're so concentrated on not being strong? You can't receive what he has to give you if you're wallowing around in weakness when he's promised you strength and he's promised you blessings to go with said strength. Psalms 46:1. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. He's very present. He's a place of protection. And I guess I must have really typed too fast for you, Becca, because I'm giving a lot of wrong references tonight. I'm sorry. It's a place of protection there for us. We run to that rock. We run to that place to hide. We run to that protection, and we're going to receive the strength. 2 Samuel 22:33. Yeah, there we go. God is my strength and power, and he maketh my way perfect. And I decided to have a little bit of fun with this one, as the youngins do, because I thought it was really cool when I started studying it. In Strong's, strength in Strong's meant a place or means of safety. Power meant strength. I'm like, okay. My way is a journey, and perfect means complete. So I love when Drew does this. So basically he's saying, God is my place or means of safety and my strength, and he maketh my journey complete. He promised his strength in this journey, all the way through it all. As Philippians 1:6 tells us, being confident in this very thing, that he which began a good work of you will perform or complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Promises are everywhere. And when we're feeling the strength tonight, we're in here, we're singing, we're worshiping, we're running and jumping and everything, and we feel strong right now. When we walk through that door, are we going to feel quite as strong walking back in that door tomorrow night? We're going to have the peace. I think there's going to be a peace that just pervades this whole place. But are we going to have the same strength? We need it, and God's promised it to us, and it's ours. This is just something to be excited about. Relying on his strength and not our own, our heart and our flesh will fail. And I was really thinking about this in Psalm 73, 25 and 26. Whom am I in heaven but thee? And there is none on earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Our emotions are going to fail us. They're just going to fail us. Our flesh is most definitely going to fail us. But what really hit me was our flesh is not going to comfort us. It's actually going to drive us into a place of deeper despair. And it will use anything it can to drive a wedge in between you and God so you don't get that strength. But while it's doing that, it's going to try to convince us that we can heal ourselves. I'm so strong on that. I have a friend who is breaking my heart because she's trying all of these ways to heal her own flesh and all the things she's going through to do this, to heal all the wounds of the past. God's not involved anywhere with her. And I feel just shallow when I read what she's doing. Because it's like, that's not true strength. And it's going to crumble. It will crumble right out from under. God's the only strength. And that's the title of my sermon tonight. The only strength we can count on. God's going to give us strength in our emotions. He will. Our spirit man is already strong. We're strengthening it every day. We're working to do that, getting closer to him. But our emotions are going to fail, and he knows that. He knows our emotions are going to take beatings. And that's why he told us in Hebrews 4:15, for we have not a high priest which cannot be touched by the feeling of our infirmities, but in all points was tempted as we are, yet without sin. Would it be easy sometimes when you don't have strength to just give up and walk away? Just, I can't do it anymore. I'm finished. I have no strength. Oh, that's your flesh. Just, that's free. That's your flesh. But he knows. He absolutely knows that we have emotions, and he's ready to help heal our emotions. And he's ready to give us the strength. Doesn't he? Ephesians 6:10 tells us, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Be strong in the Lord. Don't fall for what the world's tactics of make your own happiness, heal yourself. That is in collaboration with the enemy, and it will collapse you in the end. And don't let it convince you that you're so worn out that you don't have access to strength. Just don't. God's got so many things in his word, as we've seen tonight, where strength is a promise. And his is the only strength we need to muster, to put the flesh down and call on the one who gives the strength. So how are we going to do that? Well, we did a whole bunch of it tonight. It was great. I loved it. Exodus 15:2. For the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare for him a habitation, my Father's God, and I will exalt him. Prepare that habitation. It's a sacrifice when we don't feel it, and when we feel weak, we got to do it anyway, because that's just the flesh trying to tell us you can't do it. We take that habitation, and when we're alone, we may not have all of us around to sing and run aisles and enjoy the camaraderie. Sometimes we got to sing it and praise and give him a song ourselves. And then what's going to happen? He's going to give us that strength right back like he told us he would. Psalms 81:1. Sing aloud unto God, our strength. That's his title, God, our strength. And make a joyful noise unto the God of Jacob. Church, we know exactly what we have to do. Sing unto him. Open your heart to him. Be ready to receive the strength he wants so desperately to give us. And the flesh is fighting so desperately to keep us from getting. It's a war. The enemy doesn't want us strong. He knows what's going to happen if we get strong. And he'd love to take us down in a time like this, and a time a year from now, 2 years from now, something else happens, something else. This isn't just a message for what we're going through right now. This is something we need to take down the years. And remember, he's the strength. When you haven't got 1 ounce left, 1 ounce, or you don't think you do, you have all the strength available to you. Just open it up. Praise him. Open up the songs. Receive him and receive his strength. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't try to do it on your own.
Thank you, Pastor, for this opportunity. It's different tonight. It's different tonight. Much like Brother Lance, when God gave me this opportunity, I had nothing. And then we were presented with the situation that our church is facing right now, and I still had nothing. And I thought, what are we supposed to preach 2 days before we're about to say goodbye to one of our most loved family members? And when I thought about that, I knew what Mama would say to me. And she'd say, baby girl, that's what she always called me, baby girl, you preach what the Lord's given you. So that's what I'm going to do. The title of my message tonight is Seeking the Source. I wasn't sure how all this was going to fit in, but after Sunday and everything that's been spoken of and the songs that have been sung and the message that Brother Lance just brought to us, it just tied all of this together perfectly. So I want to speak about seeking the source. When we enter into a dark room, what's the first thing that you do? You look for any sort of light that you can find, right? You turn on your phone flashlight, you're looking at a night light, you'll even take the moonlight coming in from the window. You just need some sort of light so you're not stubbing your toes all the way through to your kitchen, am I right? But when it comes to dark times in our lives, it can be just as easy to be drawn into any source of light or any source of hope that may come our way. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean a solution or a Band-Aid, one might say. Something that may bring a glimmer of light or hope into our situation. Anything that we can be drawn to help us just make our way just a little bit further in the darkness. When we're in need of some help, we always turn to therapy or self-help books. And I'm not against those, but those are not going to give you what you need. When we're in need of some comfort or we're stressed, some of us turn to food. When some of us are in need of joy, you're on those late night Facebook video binges, laughing your head off because you're hoping for that little glimmer of hope or joy in your life in the time of darkness. Some of us turn to Amazon. Shopping is our way that we get through things. But we carnally turn to things of the flesh to help us get through times. Things that we thought that we could depend on because I've always done this in my darkest times, so I think I can do it again to get me through. In search of any sort of light. But I'm here to tell you that not any source is going to do in this time and in this age. We need to seek the proper source, the proper solution, the proper output. There's going to be things that look like light to you, but it's not coming from the proper source. It's not reliable. It's going to give out on you. The world and the enemy will try to come in with a counterfeit healing or a counterfeit wisdom or a counterfeit joy to make you think that all of it's taken care of, but it cannot be reliable. It's soothing to the flesh. It eases our mind. But as we know in 2 Corinthians, it's only temporary. It's going to disappear. It's not going to last. Yes, you just bought a brand new outfit on Amazon, but let's be real. Is it going to last you for the rest of your life here on earth? Is that joy of getting to spend that money really going to be sufficient in this time that you're in? We can't trust the source. But if we go to James chapter 1 and verse 17, it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow or turning. You can trust the gifts of God. You can trust the output that is given to you because you can trust the source. You can put your hope in a good and perfect God. He is the Father of lights. He is the hope in this darkness. He will not turn from you. There is no variableness or shadow of turning. That means when he gives a good and perfect gift to you, there's no reason to stay on guard because it's not going to change. God's not out to trick you. He is reliable in everything he does for you. He's true and never changing. Lamentations chapter 3, starting at verse 24. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Sometimes your soul's got to say what your flesh isn't feeling. The Lord is my portion. The Lord is my allotment. The Lord is my source. The Lord is my sustenance, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, and to the soul that seeketh him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, and to the soul that seeketh him. Not the soul that seeketh the gifts, not the soul that's seeking the solutions, not the soul that's waiting for God to put his hand out, but to the soul that's seeking him for who he is, the soul that wants to know him on a deeper level, the soul that wants to see his face and not his hand. We need to be desperate for Jesus. We need to be desperate for our salvation. We need to be desperate for the deliverer, not the deliverance. We need to be desperate for our King of Kings. Because our flesh can be fooled by the things of this world. But we know in whom we have believed. We know we can put our trust in him. We know that if we seek him, he will be good unto us. We can't be desperate for the solutions. We can't want microwave blessings. Sometimes it takes some slow cooking. But he's faithful. He is faithful. And when you seek him, he will be good to you. Seek the source. Seek the source. If you're in need of some wisdom, let's look at Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. You need wisdom? Seek the Lord. He will give it to you. You go to the Lord, you know it's going to be tried and true. You go to the Lord, you know you can trust the wisdom coming forth from his mouth. Seek the Lord. Maybe you're feeling alone. Well, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 29, starting at verse 12. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, and when you shall search for me with all your heart. Seek after God with all your heart and you'll find him. You're never alone. All you have to do is put everything else aside and move your eyes into the hills where your help comes from. Seek the source. If you're feeling alone, seek the one who's never left you, who's never forsaken you. You don't have to look far. He's right here. It's a promise. It's a promise. Maybe you're in need of some provision tonight. Psalm chapter 34 and verse 10. The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but ye that seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. You may be in need of something physical in your life, carnal. You may be needing some revelation. Whatever it is, if you seek the Lord, you shall not want any good thing. You will not be in need of anything. Seek the Lord. And if you're weary, Matthew chapter 11 and verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He will give you rest if you come unto him. It takes an action on our part. It takes an action on our part. You have to come nigh unto him, and he will draw nigh unto you. He will never force himself on you. He's never going to force his blessings on you. But when you come unto him, you find everything that you've ever needed. You seek the source. You find Jesus, you find everything you ever needed. You find Jesus, you see all your desires come true. You seek Jesus. And everything you've ever needed will be supplied. It's not just what he does, but it's who he is. We've already heard that God is our strength, but he is Jehovah Jireh. He is our provider. He is Jehovah Rapha, our healer. Shalom, our peace. Nachum, our comfort. Uzi, our strength. He is everything that you need. It's who he is. It's who he is. You can't separate it. You can't separate it. It's not just something he just gives out to you, but he is strength. He is peace. He is everything. He is your refuge. Get yourself in the strong tower of God, and everything you need will be provided unto you. My God. That house isn't going to bring you joy. That car will not bring you comfort. Your family's not going to give you peace, but you know in whom you have believed and what is tried and true, and that is Jesus Christ. He is ever, ever faithful and never changing. When you know the one true perfect source on an intimate level, when you seek God above your needs, when you seek God and you want to know him just for who he is, just for who he is. That woman of God, she is an example of that. She sought the face of God. We need to get our mindsets changed to God. If you never give me anything I ever wanted ever again, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to seek you. I'm still going to search after you. God, I don't want to be fooled by the things of this world, God, because I want to know you. I want to know what's true. I want to know what's reliable. I want to be a reflection of who you are to others. You will not be fooled by the outside sources when you know the one true source. Hebrews chapter 11 tells us that he's a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. So I'm here to tell you, there is never going to come a day in your life where you're going to say, man, I really regret spending that time with the Lord and getting to know him. Man, what a waste of my 27 years trying to get to know the Lord. No, he's faithful to you. He's faithful to you. And when you seek him, he will reward you. Sometimes he rewards you in things you didn't even know you needed. Because he knows you. He knows the innermost parts of your being. He created you. He formed you. He knows your desires and your needs. Just get to know him. Just get to know him. And you're going to see things come to pass that you didn't even expect because you were focused on the problem solver and not the problems. You were focused on the problem solver and not the solutions. He is everything. everything. Church, he's our comfort right now. He's not just giving us comfort. He is the comforter. That's who he is. He is our peace and our joy. He's everything. All we have to do is draw nigh to him, and he will to us. Stand with me today. He's willing to give you more than you're willing to receive. He gives, and he is more than enough. More than enough. God, you are more than enough. All I need is you. All I need is to know you, because you are more than enough. You're my healer. You're my deliverer. You're my salvation. You're my strong tower. You are my banner. You are my healer. So tonight, as we close out this service, if I have the liberty, I want you to seek the face of God tonight. If you're in need of anything, just seek the face of God. Just seek him. You can stay right where you're at. We're going to open these altars. You can sing to him. Open up your gates and receive from him. Glorify him, because that's spending time in his presence. So if you need anything tonight, I'm going to open the rest of this service for you to seek Jesus and just watch and see what he will reward you with.